Good morning, students. The topic of the day is subject verb agreement. As the phrase itself makes it clear that the topic is about a subject agreeing with the verb or a verb agreeing with the subject. In simple words, it means that while writing or speaking English, we have to take care of the verbs according to the subject or person or the thing we are talking about. In subject verb agreement, the concord or agreement exists between the subject of a sentence and the verb it takes. As I have simplified, it is nothing but to make use of a correct verb according to the subject of the sentence. Now, children, you need to be clear with the topic what is a subject and what is a verb and how many types of verbs are there. Basically, you have done three types of verbs. Number one, action words. Number two, helping verbs. And number three, verbs which tell you something about a person. For example, Anu has long hair. So here has tells what does Anu have. She has long hair. Now, today's topic is about the rules of using a verb with a particular subject. It may sound to be easy that you know the use of is, am, are. However, there are certain specifications and certain important things to remember while using the verbs with a particular subject. I have divided the topic into two sections for your convenience, as the topic is going to take up considerable time and you might be in need of listening and watching the video again for better clarification. So please stay focused, and the moment you feel tired, just pause the video, relax for a while and resume the session. Another thing, children, which I would like to point out, that I came to know that yesterday many of you were confused regarding the page number of the books. The first thing is that follow the session stepwise as the homework is forwarded. And the next thing is that sometimes some rules and some content is not enough in your book. So I refer other books for that sake. In that case, do not get into looking for the same sentences in your book. I hope you understood why there was a confusion yesterday. So let's resume the session. I said you need to have the knowledge of what is a subject and what are verbs. So subject is something or somebody you talk about in a sentence. And based on this subject only, we make a choice of correct verb in our sentence. You will not open the books. The topic is from your book only, page 234, but you will not open it right now. Only after the session is over and you are clear with what I have said, you will open the book and refer the same page and write the things in case you feel the need of writing it. Otherwise, listening to this session and reading the rules from the page is enough. Let's start. Subject and verbs must agree in number. This means that if your subject is plural, the verb it will take is plural, and if your subject is singular, it will take singular verb. See the example. In my first sentence, cats is a plural verb, so like is my plural verb. Cats is my plural subject So like is my plural verb to be used. And in the second sentence, cat is a singular subject and the verb used likes is also singular. Please do not confuse yourself. How come like without s is plural and likes with s is singular? Actually, it is the opposite of nouns. In nouns, an s word is plural, but in verb, a word without s is plural. Below this rule, children, there are rules which I have ordered A, B, C, D. We will do A part. Actually, what you have to remember is that you have to focus on your subject before you choose the correct verb for your sentence. All these rules A to D speak this only. I have struck a few lines. That is for the reason that don't read them. Only you have to focus is that what is your subject in a particular sentence, and accordingly you have to use the verb. I'll take up the examples here and explain you all this. See the first example under A heading. Susie, the oldest of our cats, is very lazy. Now here my subject is Susie, so the verb is. See the next example. The colors of the rainbow are beautiful. Here my subject is not rainbow, it is the colors of the rainbow. So I am talking about colors and my verb should be, my subject is plural, so my verb should be plural, that is are. Next one. There is a problem with this laptop. And another sentence speaks, here are the new laptops. In my first sentence, my subject is the laptop, singular word, so verb is here. And in the second sentence, it is new laptops, my subject is plural, so the verb which has been used is are. Even if you read the explanation of these rules, you will find that they are talking about subject only. So the thumb rule is that you have to focus on the subjects of a sentence and accordingly use the verb. Now let's take up rule 2. As I said, children, this is to remind you, please don't open your books in between, only focus on what is being taught. Rule 2 says that a verb must agree with the subject in person also. If you remember this topic person, we have done 3 types of persons in reported speech. We have covered this topic as first person, second person, third person pronouns while doing reported speech. So here are the rules for that. First person singular number, first person, and that number and the word stands for a singular person, will take am, and that is according to the tense. If it is present tense, it will be am. If it is past tense, it will take was, and if it is future tense, it will take will. That is a different case, but you have to remember, if you're talking about first person pronoun and in present tense, you will use am. First person pronoun refers to the speaker, I. If it is we, it will be are. Next, third person singular number pronouns. Singular number pronouns means standing for one person. All the third person pronouns are he, she, it. They are singular. Similarly, we have they, which is plural. So they will take are, and he will take, he, she, it will take is. Look at the slide. I have mentioned here, this is according to the tense we are talking about. If it is past tense, He will take was. She will take was. And if my third person pronoun is plural, that is they, it will be taking are in the present tense and were in the past tense. Take the next one. I don't like non-vegetarian food, but my friend dash it very much. Now you are talking about your friend. Your friend being singular will take a verb with S. So if you focus here, all is about subject being singular or plural, or how is the subject being used. Depending upon that, we make a choice of the verb to get our sentence right. Three and B cut. Rule 3 says if two or more singular subjects, mind it, subjects are singular, they are not plural, are joined by using and, it will use a plural verb. In simple words, if we are talking about two subjects and both are singular, see in the example, we are talking about the lion and the goat. They are two different subjects and both are singular. Then we will use a plural verb, and the verb used here is live. Mind it, a verb without S is a plural verb. In case you have to use other verbs, it will be are or have, and many others depending upon the tense. This rule 3 has a B part also. In case the two subjects which you are talking about refer to the same person or thing, there is a use of and in between, but it means a single thing, then the verb is singular. See the example. There are certain things which we take together or which we use together. For example, bread and butter, dal and rice, rice and curry, fish and chips. Here as given in the example, they are taken as a single dish. So the verb used with this kind of subjects will be singular, is. See the next example. The poet and philosopher is dead. Now this word poet and philosopher have been used for the same person. That is why the sentence has taken is as the verb. Now how will you make out whether you are talking about a singular subject, two singular subjects, or the same subject? And there is a use of and also. A thumb rule is that when you talk about different subjects, these two different subjects will be taking separate article. See the example above, the lion and the goat. I hope you got it. If you find these articles, separate articles used with the nouns, then it is a different subject. See the white box here. The poet and the philosopher are dead. Now it means we are talking about two different people. One is the poet and the other one is the philosopher. Had there been no the before philosopher, it would have meant that we are talking about one person who was a poet also and philosopher too. Rule number 4. Rule number 4 says that if each, every, or no comes before the subject, the verb is singular. See the example. dash smoking or drinking. Sorry, no smoking or drinking dash allowed. So we are talking about smoking and drinking, but it has no in the beginning, so the verb will be singular. Another example, boy and girl, each boy and girl. My subject is boy and girl, and I have a word every before these two subjects, so verb will be singular. And mind it, when a verb is singular, it takes an s with it, especially with the action words. Rule number 5 has two parts, A and B. If the first one is clear, the other one is simply the opposite of that. Let's read. If the subjects are both singular, if we are talking about two subjects, see in the example we're talking about James and Jessica. They are singular in nature and are connected by the word or, nor, neither, either, not only but also. The verb is singular. In simple words, if your two subjects are joined together using the given italicized words or, nor, neither, not only but also, either or, then the verb will be singular. Take the second example. Not only James but also Jessica. Now James and Jessica are the subjects of this sentence, but they are singular and joined by these words not only but also. In this case, the verb will be singular. Next rule is connected to this only. All you have to remember is that if two subjects are there in a sentence and both are plural but joined with these words only, or, nor, neither, nor, then the verb will be plural. See the example. The sheep here and rabbits, both are plural. Sheep does not take a plural as sheeps. Sheep is plural it also and singular also. Sheep and rabbits. So my verb will again be plural, that is are. So what are these rules? If the subjects, two subjects you are talking about are singular, they will take a singular verb. But if they are plural and joined by these words nor, neither, either, etc., the verb will be plural. However, there is an exception to this rule which is written in the white box. It says that when one noun or pronoun is joined by or, nor, is singular and the other is plural. In simple words, if you are talking about two subjects and they are joined using either or, neither or, not only but also, but one is singular and the other one is plural, then how will you make out which verb to be used? In that case, children, you have to take care of the word which is very close to the verb, which is nearest to the verb. See the example. First example, the subject is the teacher and his students. And in the second example, it is the students and their teacher. Now, my word which is near, or the subject which is near to the verb is first time students, and in the second sentence teacher. So I will go with my second subject. Students will take are and teacher will take is. I hope it is clear, children. It's a bit confusing, but if you read it twice or thrice or listen to it twice or thrice, this all will be very clear to you. Come to the sixth point. If two nouns are joined by words like with, together with, or as well as, the verb agrees with the first noun. Again, in simple words, if you have two nouns but the joining words are with, together with, or as well as, then my verb will be according to the first subject or first noun or pronoun. See the example, the school pupil leader as well as the house captains was. Now our previous rule was, had it been either or, neither nor, I would have used verb according to house captains. But now the words, the subjects have been joined using as well as. So my verb will agree with school pupil leader. That is my first subject. Children, I will be taking a break here so that you also take a pause, relax for a while, and then you take up part 2 of this topic. As I said, the topic may sound easy, but it has many intricacies and details. So, relax for a while and then you resume the session for part 2.